90s.
or
So that was
before.
like that, whereas Jimmy Hoffa was
60s.
1950s, 1960s.
Yeah. Did you like the movie with Jack Nicholson playing Hoffa? I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
that was one of them. And I think Danny DeVito was the chauffeur.
That's right. And I think he was the one that pulled the trigger too, huh?
In that movie, he pulled the trigger. In another
Yes.
movie, and the other movie, the one with De Niro, somebody else pulled the trigger. So you
Yeah,
don't,
interesting stuff.
yeah.
And the interesting part is that one of the guys who busted all of those mob figures, the highest profile guy, turned out to be one of them, Giuliani. Isn't that strange? Did we want to play a little music? We don't have many people here.
Go for it. Maybe it'll attract some people.
Right.
Maybe it'll.
I believe I should also have the recording already started, so I don't leave anybody out this
Oh,
time.
that's good. I
Can
forgot
you
to
see
ask.
the,
Recording with the music.
Yeah.
see the recording there, folks?
Um,
Does it
let's
say
see.
recording?
No, I just saw that Richard Alder joined. Hi, Richard. That's good. So how about another take on our favorite version of Proud Mary called Proud to be a Democrat.
Ah,
Lyrics by Ron Lorenz to the tune of Proud Mary. So here we are. You'll notice that the chorus goes like this. Let's review the chorus for everybody to sing along on the chorus at least. Standing on a solid platform, working hard for equality. Demos, Democrats forever.
Forever. This Democrat forever is the chorus.
Democrats forever. That's a long time. Okay, so that's the chorus. So you guys sing along at least on that part, and I'll actually say when we're going to start a verse. Like the first verse is "We are Democrats," and so I'll go first verse. We are Democrats. Okay, let's start with the intro. A band leader, here I am, taking over here. All right, let's have some fun. All right, band. First verse. We are Democrats and we're all in for the people. Have our hearts and minds in the right place. And we never leave a minute asleep. 'Cause we give to save our democracy. Everybody now, standing on a solid platform, working hard for equality. Demos, good. Democrats forever. Second verse. Make a lot of good and friendly phone calls. Knock and talk with folks at their front door. But we're always on the good side of politics. And we ride along with the best of candidates. Standing on a solid platform. Working hard for equality. Democrats forever. Little guitar. Third verse. If you come down to our meeting, bet you're gonna find some people who care. You don't have to worry if you have no money. People in the party just give of themselves. Standing on a solid platform, working hard for equality. Demos, everybody. Democrats forever. Two more. Demos. Demos.
Demos.
Democrats forever. Big finish now. Demos.
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 Democrats forever.
Yay.
Democrats forever. All right, there's Richard. Hey, Richard.
Wow, we have quite, I told you, you sing the song and they will come.
There we go.
We
All
have
right.
2 pages of people. Wow,
Good.
we've got quite a crowd tonight.
Woo.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Is it 7 o'clock yet?
Yeah, it's after 7.
It's 2 minutes after 7. Let me get the flag.
Let's see.
Okay. Let's see. Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United
United States of America,
and to
To
the
the republic
which
which stands
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
Under God,
indivisible,
With
with liberty
and
and justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Someday, and hopefully that day's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, my screen is hopping around, Jackie.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up the agenda. Stand by.
Welcome to the Tri-Valley Democratic Club January 2021 meeting. The other day, my friend Eloise, a club member, noted that many people couldn't tell what the 3 branches of government were. And Rick Adler said, 2 branches of government, offense and defense.
No, I said that the new senator, coach, that's what he would have said.
Oh, good.
Anyway,
Tommy
Rick
Tuberville.
said it,
Yeah, Tommy Tuberville.
Good.
and it occurred to me that on Wednesday at noon in Washington, DC, we have an opportunity to go on offense. And I hope the club brings a lot of its energy toward that, because we really need a lot of offense in so many different areas. As many of you know, after this meeting, after a few minutes from now, I won't be president anymore. And I'm glad to pass the baton on. I took a lesson from what was happening in Washington, DC, and did everything possible that I can think of to make the transition to a new administration as smooth as possible. And I will continue to work with whoever becomes president to continue to make this club successful.
That didn't happen in Washington though, Ellis.
I know, I looked at it as a negative example.
Yeah,
There you
you're
go.
setting a positive example.
Don't let this happen to you. I hopefully didn't let it happen to us. My wife is busily writing down everybody's name. Anyhow, I want to thank my partner for the last 15 years at this club, helping the club be successful, nudging me every month as to who's going to be the speaker, what are we going to do next month? Well, Samir or Evan, now she can nudge you.
No.
So you'll find out about that. But she has been part of the success of this club. And
Thank
I
you.
probably don't say it often enough, but here's an opportunity to say in front of a whole bunch of people, thank you for everything you've done for the club and
You're very
and
welcome.
to help me and all of us. And
Thank you both.
and there's a Yiddish term, it's called Hamish, and it's to make people feel at home when they come to your house. And when people came to our club, she did that. That was very important. Jackie, can I get a share screen?
Yeah,
Okay. And I had, let me see, the agenda. I think this is the agenda. Okay, here's the agenda. You heard my opening remarks. And Bob, have you got a financial report? I didn't even see if you're here.
Yeah, he's here.
He's here.
Here.
Okay, why don't you lay it on us?
And my last financial report too. So yeah, it's been fun. Anyway, since
You're coming in from south of Dublin, aren't you?
very, did
Southern California.
you heard the accent, huh?
You're still in the state.
I'm still in the state barely.
You're starting to have a Ventura accent.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, so since the last time we met, we've collected 1,130 in membership dues, and actually from all the activity from yesterday and today, it's going to be a lot more. Thank you for those of you who just renewed, and for those of you who haven't, you know, come on. Anyway, we also did those donations that we were talked about back in November to Warnock and Ossoff and Fair Fight. So that was $1,500. And I say money well spent.
Yes.
I think maybe that was the deciding factor in those elections.
I think it was our money.
Most definitely.
Yes, our money pulled.
You know, the interesting thing is the Warnock check hasn't been cashed yet. So
Wow.
What?
anyway, so and we also paid the website annual fee for this year. Anyway, so that leaves us with a cash balance of $1,682.28. The other thing is our membership. We're up from last year. I haven't accumulated all the people that came in yesterday and today, but before that we were at 60, and a year ago we were at 57 members. And that's good for this, you know, the January.
Actually, the list that I made up
Yeah.
included family membership, and I was able to put those on. I got 132 members, but Jamie Yee spoke to me a little while ago and told me that 2 of her kids were registered to vote at her house, and she's got a family membership. So our actual total is 134 members, including families.
That's
So at least by my count, and unless somebody joined after you sent me the roster today.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So we're really up there with the numbers. And the reason that that's important is that there will be pre-primary endorsement caucus. And for every 20 members that we have who live in AD 16, which is not you, Barb Naylor, but everybody else up here, for every 20 members, we'll get a vote in that caucus. And keep in mind that for 2022, there will be redistricting. So right now, if the districts remain, we could possibly vote on Rebecca or Eric Swalwell. And I don't think they would have very much competition. So it's not consequential. But after they've redistricted, it's very possible that our votes will be consequential. So it's important to get as many members listed on our roster when we submit it to the region to get those delegates. It's also important that we get people on the roster because of chartering in Contra Costa. I believe that we're over the 20-member requirement in Contra Costa, and I think we'll be able to attain chartering in Contra Costa in the near future. So that's important. And if you're wondering how we got a bunch of members, this was the strategy. There were a few people who were running for ADEM, and I said, you know, if you got a family membership here, we'll list you amongst members who are running for ADEM. And if you remember, about a month or so ago, I sent out a list of club members who were running for ADEM, not that the club endorsed them. And I specifically said that because we have to vote on endorsement. So we picked up a bunch of members there. And then Mark Van Landvoot asked me if his slate of ADEMs, he could bring them up before the club. And I said, no, you couldn't do that because we haven't endorsed them, but they could join the club and partake here, and whatever they're interested in doing politically, they can do in the club's name. And apparently that was the flood of members in the last 2 or 3 days, because I only told them 2 or 3 days ago. So thank you, Mark, if you're here. I hope you are. Let's see.
I'm just going to throw one more.
Any objection to Bob's financial report?
Just
Hearing no objection.
Hold on a minute, Ellis. Bob wants to add something.
I'm just going to say, Van asked how to renew. I put that in the chat. There's a website link you can go to, or, you know, and now
It's on our homepage.
page two.
The link is on our homepage.
Now that Alan will be taking over, you can also mail it to the PO box.
Right. There's both those.
Yep.
Um,
I'm done.
Okay, so members who paid dues in 2020 will be able to vote in this election because the renewed date is January 30th. So that in order to vote at the February meeting, should we have to vote on anything, you would have had to pay 2021 dues. But tonight, the list that I made up was what we had eligible members as of this moment in time. And that was the 134 number that I spoke of. Okay, let's move on. Ron, anything to report about the YouTube channel or anything else?
Well, you know, today is an important day. This is Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday. And I think it's important for the club to spend a minute to talk a little bit about Martin Luther King and what his dream and his hard work and his leadership meant to the country, to African Americans, and to Democrats. Martin Luther King voted Democrat, even though he may not have been registered. It's interesting, there's a controversy as to whether he was registered Republican and voted Democrat, but he definitely voted Democrat. And we know where his hearts and his values were. So 3 cheers for Martin Luther King, a brave man who paid the ultimate price and who led us into a greater freedom and helped kick off the civil rights and the consciousness revolutions, 2 very important movements in the 1960s that have had impact all the way up through the 2020 time period. So 3 cheers for Martin Luther King and all of those who have followed in his footsteps. Second thing I want to say is thanks very much to Bob Naylor for all of his hard work for the many years that he put in as our treasurer, keeping the roster, keeping the money, doing it, you know.
He didn't get to keep the money.
By distance, doing it by distance. And maybe one of these days I'll submit my last 2 expenses to Alan. We had a couple of plaques, one for Bob, who well deserved it, and another one for Aparna.
Right.
Now we have a little something for Ellis after he steps out of his role, but that's a no expense. That's something that I made personally. So we'll probably look at that tonight. But I did want to say, yes, indeed, we do have an up and working good YouTube channel, so we can show videos and documents that club members want to submit to me. And I'll put them up on our YouTube web channel. It's accessed easily by going to our website, which is trivalleydims.com. So go to our website, and in the upper left, Ellis has placed a link that'll take us right to the site so you can see. Now there we already have some videos and documents. The videos will be for all of our meetings for the last 7 months. So those are all there and everybody can see and access them. And so our endorsements and our impact can be spread and can be seen again and again. So this is valuable stuff to have. We also have some nice things like a wonderful campaign presentation by Kelly McCaskey, one of our new fine members. And we have some speeches and some debates and other things that are there. And I want to emphasize that whatever you have that you feel is important, submit it to me. If it's a document, it can be in any format that you send it. If it's a video, ideally I like MP4s, if you know what that means. But I was able to take Kelly's document, which she just gave me a link from a YouTube site. So that's a possibility. So that's a fair amount of technical stuff, but just submit to me. And my email address is RLORENTZ, first initial, last name, 66, the year that I was when we started, at gmail.com, rlorenz66gmail.com. Okay, well, that sounds good.
I think Mary Turner had a question, or
Yes,
she's
Mary.
doing something weird.
She's exercising her hand.
What's up, Mary?
I have a question for Ron. So
Yeah.
with regard to the YouTube channel, do you have any, is there a set of criteria for things that will be accepted or not accepted? And do you accept materials from other groups?
I will accept materials from other groups. The president and I will review them for suitability for the site. I know that you have a lot of wonderful groups, and since you are a member, if you're promoting and a member of those groups, the likelihood will be yes, that we will be able to put those onto our website also.
See all the people.
It would be nice if at some point, some type, a list of criteria, just guidelines
Mary,
to develop. Yes, Ellis.
further on in the meeting, we will be working on the strategic plan, which you were part of. And basically, if whatever group or whatever video you're asking to post, if it works with our strategy, our purposes, let's go for it. And as you know, the purposes were rather broad.
I don't have anything specific in mind, but there are 12 months ahead, and it would be good to have some.
Right. Just don't try to sell anything there.
Yeah.
How about you dancing? That would be nice.
Oh, that would be good. Some Morris dance.
Forget about that.
We could try to dig up some Morris dance videos.
Oh,
And there's nothing to say that we can't get other videos from YouTube and like that we find relevant.
Uh-huh.
As long as it's relevant, we could put it up there.
Thank you.
Promotes the-
Maybe even a movie that we
Yeah,
find
and in
relevant.
fact, I was thinking of creating a playlist on our channel, which is possible, and putting up a lot of videos that have to do with body language. And
Wonderful.
so we can do all kinds of things like that. It's our YouTube channel. And as long as we don't violate YouTube's criteria, which is another story. I wanted to add something to yours, Ron, and it was
Yes.
about Martin Luther King. And it has to do with what I consider one of the most wonderful moments in my life. I was working as a teacher's aide in my granddaughter's kindergarten class. and it was in March, and it was, no, it was in, yeah, it was in March that it was Equality Month or whatever. I'm not sure
No, it's
exactly
Mar-
why.
Mar-
But
Martin
the
Luther King.
teacher was reading a book about Martin Luther King. And the class was fairly transfixed on her. And she got to this page and she said they had a big demonstration in Washington, D.C. And I said to the class, and I was there. And it was a magic moment. And the whole class turned around. And I said, me and my high school buddies, we were hanging out in Coney Island the night before this event. And we said, we should go down to Washington, D.C. and march with these protesters. And I went home and my mother gave me $5, which was a lot of money at the time, and a loaf of bread and a can of tuna fish and a can opener and some utensils. And 6 of us, we drove down all night, and we got to the Capitol Mall. It was still dark out, and we went to sleep right on the mall because it was in August, you know, it was the middle of the summer. And when I woke up, I saw more people than I had ever seen in my entire life. And that was the magic moment that the kids saw the book turn into reality. And the teacher retired a couple of years later, and we had like a retirement get together in the multi-purpose room at the school. And I said to her, that was a very magic moment. And she said, you know, in my years of teaching, that was a magic moment for me too. So I thought I'd share you with that with you. Also, I probably won't get a chance to tell the story again. So
Maybe you'll tell it next year. Martin.
maybe I'll tell it next year. Jackie, somehow I snuck a Q in your last name instead of an N. My apologies. But do you have the minutes from the last meeting? I don't even remember what it was. The meeting?
Yeah, let me go ahead and stop can you stop sharing that doc?
Yeah, and we can go back to this, right?
Yeah, I can, let's go back. So let's see.
Actually, the elections come after this.
I want to see all the people though.
My wife wants to see all the people.
Okay, stand by. I have a bunch of things saved here and it's not showing me my document. Hold on.
This is hard work to do the Zooming. We appreciate all the good work. Take your time.
Hold on. Let me just get this open.
Mary Perner's our editor.
Okay,
She puts things in.
stand by. Let's see. Wrong one. Sorry, I keep trying to open up the wrong one. I have about 100 items open here right now.
Take your pick.
Did we do any?
Ah,
Let's see, that was the victory party.
actually, yeah, the last one we had, but I haven't shared the minutes and it's not letting me share, it's failing. Ellis, can you stop in your share?
I haven't got the minutes.
No, I mean,
Turn
what you're
off.
sharing on the screen right now.
Turn off the agenda.
Okay, how do I
Alice.
turn off the agenda? Well, I can go like this, but how do I turn off I go like that?
Awesome.
I'm not sure. Now I've got everybody over the agenda, but
There we go.
There.
Okay,
there.
okay. There we go. Sorry, Ellis.
Isn't technology wonderful? Okay.
Let
What,
me-
did we pass any motions or anything at the November meeting?
People
Actually,
play.
there was, now why do I have the wrong agenda? Bear with me, Ellis. I
Take
had
your
it
time.
open and I think I just closed it. Let me do this. Let me do the political report first with the central committee, and then I'll pull open that. I'll find that agenda from our last.
Okay, whatever order you want to do it.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay. Ooh, can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
Alameda County Central Committee. The first meeting was held this year. Our club membership, my representation will end at this time, and the new president will have to decide who will be the next political director, whether it be me or somebody else. And same went for the Central Committee. They went through their leadership elections. Our new chair for Alameda County is Terry Sandoval. Vice chair is Igor Tregub. Am I saying that
Igor.
correctly?
Igor.
Igor.
Fine, you're
or
fine.
like Frankenstein
Igor.
movies.
Igor.
Either
Igor.
one.
And there he is.
Hi.
Ah,
I've been called many names.
Hi, Igor. And
I
the
also invited Terry. Did Terry show up?
I do not see her on the Zoom and I texted her, but I've not heard back yet.
Okay. So after your report, Jackie, I'd like Igor to introduce himself.
Absolutely. So communication secretary, Andy Kelly, recording secretary, Karina Lopez, the treasurer is Royce Kelly. They also voted unanimously to support the important housing bills, AB 15. Bless you.
Bless you.
John.
John Rowe.
John, could you
Yeah,
mute?
yeah.
Thank you.
AB 15, which extends the COVID eviction ban, and SB 6, allowing housing in commercial zones. There was a special thanks to Dr. Bobby Lopez for recommending these two bills to be considered. And then the district vice chair, 8015, Julie Waters, our district, our own Sean Kumagai, 8018, Victor Aguiar Jr., 8020, Elisa Marquez, and 8025, Nancy Thomas. And with that, I think I'll go ahead and turn it over to Igor to introduce himself and talk a little more about the Central Committee while I find my minutes from our last call.
Go for it, Igor.
Well, thank you so much, first of all, and happy MLK Day. Alice and Sharon, I don't have the words in my vocabulary to thank you for everything that you have done, not just for the club, but for the entire Democratic Party. I can't imagine a TVDC without you both. I'm going to introduce myself as I've been a member of the Central Committee in various roles since 2009. But for those of you who know me, chances are that you probably worked with me while I was a young Dem, and I just aged out, but I held a number of different roles within the state organization and locally within the East Bay Young Democrats. And Sharon and Ellis were everywhere. We at one point.
We were triplets, both of us, and we have these clones that are. Go ahead.
That's right. I remember when not everyone is lucky enough to have the amazing treasurer your club has, and we had Kindy Dorkey. And for those of you who have that long of a memory as I do, because that was pretty traumatic. About 10 years ago, she stole all of our money and the other Democratic organizations' money, and we had to build, kind of just raise all the money back from scratch. And we held a fundraiser and a donation drive to benefit the Young Dems. And Sharon and Ellis were first on the scene, ready to help with all of their supplies. So thank you. Um,
cleared out our garage with a flea market that raised $13,000, not from us.
it was definitely something, and it all came from the Bay Area, and folks were happy with us after that. So I just want to thank everyone in the club for being on the front lines. I work in the Tri-Valley. I used to commute to work every day before the pandemic. And even though I live in Berkeley, I probably spent more time in Livermore than Berkeley. And I learned firsthand how difficult it is to, at times, to be a Democrat in that area. And thank you to each of you for holding the line and expanding the presence of the Democratic Party down in the Tri-Valley to the point where we have regained every statewide seat. We held our congressional seats and made them blue. And I think with all of your work and whatever support you need, I think collectively we'll be able to make sure that the last of the city councils that have majority Republicans masquerading as NPPs will also be replaced by Democrats. I'm really honored to be part of the Central Committee as vice chair. I'm still, the election just happened. And as was pointed out, it was a very close election. So my gratitude to those of you, you know who you are, who are on the Zoom, who entrusted me with your vote. We have not yet held our first executive board meeting, but are scheduling to hold one soon. And I think because there's a lot of new leadership, including at the top with Terry Sandoval as chair, there are going to be, what we want to do collectively is take the successes of the Central Committee over the last number of years that we have been involved in it, but build upon that and make it a welcoming, inclusive, transparent space for all. We want you at those meetings. We want you to feel good about Zooming into those meetings, and when we meet in person, being able to come down to, hopefully we'll still be in San Leandro when that happens. And we do meet every first month of the month on Wednesdays. First Wednesday of the month, starting at 7 p.m. We have a resolutions committee and a legislation committee that meet beforehand. We have some other committees that there's a committee on bylaws, there's a finance committee. We hope to make them stronger and we hope to make them more accessible. And we're looking forward to getting input from the local clubs. Our aim is to channel all of our experience on the Central Committee and make sure that we're coming to work for you. I'm personally really excited. My 11 years on the Central Committee, first time on the e-board though, looking forward to taking everything that I've learned about the Central Committee and making sure that it's in the service of everything that your club needs and wants. I want to thank you for being on the front lines. One of our priorities as well is to build infrastructure. Investing in endorsed candidates 2 months before the election is way too late. And it's looking like my time is coming up. So happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, thank you so much. And let's keep working together to make all of this happen.
I'll be calling you about that, Igor. But not in the meeting with, at this point, we have 3 screens up. So we've got north of 50 people on here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. And
Thank you
our
for-
regards to Terry, and she's certainly welcome to any of our meetings, I'm sure.
And you are too.
And you are too. We have another guest here, but I'm going to ask Peter Shapiro to wait until we get into discussing the strategic plan a little bit later on. And I promised him a turn at the microphone. I'd like to get on to the elections. I sent out a sheet that has all of the members on it. And if I can get into that sheet again, here it is. And this sheet has all, no, that's not it. How did that happen?
That's not the one you want?
No,
Dated 1/18/21.
no, that's not the one I want.
Okay.
Okay, I want the one that I clicked on, which was this one. And that has the names of all of the members of the club on it. And what I suggest is that you find your name, and if there is anybody who is in attendance right now, who is a member who thinks that they deserve to vote because they paid their dues, or they were a member in 2020, please let us know right now.
How?
You're on there, Mary, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you want us to let you know?
But let me
If
know.
you're not on there.
Not on there.
Ah,
Only those who are not on there. So if you're not on the list, let me know.
Yeah, these are the eligible voters, so we want to make sure the
These are
list is
eligible
complete.
voters. This is the 134, except it's 132 here. And Jamie Yee has 2 children that I didn't put on, but they're not going to be voting today anyway. She told me that. Okay, now what we have is 4 different offices. 2 candidates for president, Samir Qureshi and Evan Branning. 1 candidate for vice president, Dr. Ron Lorenz. 1 candidate for treasurer, Alan Akashir. And 2 candidates for secretary, Jackie Taryn Rankel and Kelly Makashi. And that means we've got 2 competitive races. So the non-competitive races, I think we can get off the table very quickly. Is there anybody else who would like to run for office who I've not mentioned so far? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, just like a wedding.
I have a question.
Yes,
I don't want to run for office, but in the material you sent out, Jackie would also be the political director?
well, Jackie is the political director. That is a title I've assigned to the person who represents us on the Alameda County Central Committee. And that's an appointed office.
How much work is involved for Jackie with that position?
Well, she's got to go to the meetings, and
Report back
as
to
you
us.
saw, she put together that report. Sometimes that report gets more extensive. So that's, but that,
And
as far
Ellis,
as doing that, talk to the new president.
Or,
Okay?
or you know what? If,
according to the central committee, the new president would have to present that, correct, Ellis, to
Right,
the
right. The
central
new
committee,
president,
and whether it's me or somebody else would have to be approved by the central committee to be the club rep, correct?
Well, my question has to do with your bandwidth, Jackie, because if you're holding 2 positions, that's 2 sets of responsibilities, and it's something to take into consideration when we vote.
okay,
or you
Yeah.
can have an alternate on the central committee.
anyway, that's an issue to take up with the new administration. Okay? So, not to get off track. So we have nobody else who is running for office. And we have Ron Lorenz running for vice president, and Alan Nakashir running for treasurer. All in favor, say yes.
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 That sounded pretty resounding. Are there any noes? Are there any abstentions? I declare that Ron Lorenz is vice president and Alan Nakashir has been elected treasurer. And I am going to ask them to be the ones who officially keep tabs on their paper versions of this. At this time, I would like the remaining candidates to say something for a couple of minutes about why we should vote for them. And let's start it off with Evan, followed by Samir, followed by Kelly, followed by Jackie. And no more than 2 or 3 minutes. Tell us why we should vote for you.
Can I see the people on the screen?
And
please?
Jackie, could you put up so we can get the speaker's view? Do I have to do something?
Question, Ellis.
Yes, Ron?
If we're going to have people be able to ask the candidates questions, did we want to have the candidate make his presentation on her presentation and then the questions for that candidate, or run through that, which may be better because people will remember
Run
what they
through
said.
all of the candidates making an opening statement, and then
The questions.
then the questions, and we'll queue up in the chat by raising our hands, or is it
Okay.
participants ones? Whatever, the participants thing.
More people.
Okay, so what did I say? Samir, go for it.
Evan was first.
Oh, Evan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Samir, if you want to, I have
No,
no
Evan,
preference.
yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to actually share my screen again in just a moment. But before I do that, I wanted to thank everyone for coming out, and I particularly wanted to thank Ellis, Sharon, and Bob all for their service. This is Martin Luther King Day. It's a day that we're reminded of service. And so thanking them for the work that they've done, and to say that I'm stepping up right now in hopes of leading this club in the same spirit of serving all of you. I look to be a president who works for you, who works with all of you, and really enhances the club to make it as successful as possible. And so with that, thank you all for coming. I'm hoping that I can earn your vote for the presidency. A little bit about me, most of you know me, so I won't spend very long on this, but I'm a teacher at an alternative ed high school. I've been a longtime activist and organizer. I've formed multiple grassroots organizations, including Swing Left Tri-Valley, which just recently placed more calls, the second most calls of any Swing Left organization in the United States to Georgia. Second most letters, my mistake. Other groups such as Unify Livermore and the Barts Livermore Coalition, I've been on the ground organizing for quite a while now. I also have successful campaigns under my belt with the Yes on Measure P campaign, which I managed or was a manager for, winning by a 2-to-1 margin. So I have managed to bring out quite a large number of people to elections and managed to win by large margins in my campaign management. So my vision for the club is to empower members, expand membership, win elections, and modernize the club. Basic top lines. We're at a point right now nationally where we have a lot of anxiety about what is going on, about what is happening. We have never been this close to democracy falling apart as we are right now. And we're going to have a lot of things that are very important for us to do. I'm not going to get very deeply into the things that we should be doing. I'm going to get into the hows, because I do think that the actual targets, the topics that we cover will come from the club and will come from all of you. But I'm going to show how that I can help you be successful and help you as president actually enact those visions. So first is empowering members. And I think one of the most important things to empower a member is that you need to provide meaningful actions to members. We're looking for opportunities for members to get out there and get involved in local campaigns and local issues and national campaigns and national issues, state as well. And having at every meeting some sort of opportunity for an action that they can go home and work on. It's going to be one of my top priorities as your president. Additionally, my long-term experience in the region with this club, as well as with many of the other organizations, is I want to bring in these other organizations, such as Indivisible, Swing Left, Moms Demand, many others as well, bring them into the club to make it so we have strong partnerships with them. I personally already have strong connections with many of these groups, and so I feel that I can help connect them with us to give us more of those opportunities to succeed. And lastly is to create opportunities for all of you to have lead initiatives in the club, so that you can be in charge of and move on items that you think are important and connect with other members so that they will be able to help you succeed moving forward on democratic ideals. Additionally, of course, it is important for all of these to succeed that we expand membership. It is important that we're reaching out to people where they are. It's going to be a challenge to get people, it's always a challenge to get people into any organization. So you need to meet people where they're at. And that means talking with them in conversations that they find relevant, giving them opportunities that they think will impact their lives, and making sure to give them all of the opportunities they can to come in at a pace that feels comfortable to them. This will include targeted outreach to traditionally hard to reach groups. We need to be reaching out to Black, Indigenous, and people of color, as well as young groups, as well as low-income groups. Those have been some of the hardest for this club to get in. And they're some of the backbones of our actual Democratic Party. I have a long-term experience bringing in people from those groups and reaching out to them, making them feel welcome, making them feel comfortable. I've used my teaching skills and I've used my personal communication skills to really give them a chance to be involved. One of the most important actions for us is to win elections. So I believe we need to recruit, train, and support candidates. This includes an enhanced endorsement process, one in which we make sure that our endorsements have deep meaning, where we're able to continue to follow up after the endorsement, giving people the opportunities to feel fully supported in local elections, as well as state and national elections. This will include going to find issues and candidates at the local level, such as city council, school boards, and the likes, who share democratic values, giving them opportunity for endorsements, and then giving them the actual training and support they need to be able to win, and then getting people to help volunteer so that they can win those elections, moving people to help those campaigns in a deeply meaningful way. The last thing is I plan to modernize the club. To be able to succeed in many of these, we need to have a stronger digital outreach and digital tool set. As a teacher and a digital native, I am very familiar with many of the tools required for making sure that we update our website so that it is a hub for all of the organizations to be able to contact each other, to communicate, to be able to actually come together and continue forwarding our ideas, as well as expanding our social media presence to reach people who may not be in our current demographics, as well as utilizing a general digital tool set of additional programs, opportunities that will allow candidates and causes to be more successful. We have a number of tools for organizing and for campaigns that we can use to make sure that people are more successful. So I tried to make that very brief. I know you have a lot on your plate. I hope that I have earned your vote. I am interested really in bringing this club into an age where we're reaching all corners of our society, bringing people in who are not currently members, of giving people the opportunities for action and leadership in their communities. And I believe that I'm the best suited to do this due to my long-term commitment both to this club as well as to the many different organizations that I've either started or been involved in throughout the Tri-Valley. I would ask if you have any questions now, but I believe that will be for later.
We'll
So-
wait until everybody has spoken. Thank you very
Perfect.
much.
Thank you very much.
Samir, I think you said that you had a slide presentation also.
Yeah, I am going to see if I am able to share. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Can you see my screen? Just want
Yeah.
to make sure. Great. All right. Well, thank you everyone for taking time to speak with me. My name is Samir Qureshi, and I am running for the Tri-Valley Democratic Club president. So I'm going to keep my slides to just a few slides here. So I think this is great. Can you? Oh, perfect. Well, some
I
of you.
can't see your screen.
It's
you-
not up there yet.
Oh,
It's like a
You're not-
white, just a white background.
Yeah. Did you click on share screen?
yeah, I did, but hold on. Let me. Were you able to see before?
No.
It's
No.
It was just a white square.
Uh-oh.
maybe your notepad or something was up. There we go.
There it is.
Oh, good.
Great. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, who is Samir Qureshi? You probably wonder. Okay. So I'm going to keep it in a few things here. Personal. I'm a family man, husband and father, and I'm married to my wife for 28 years. We have 4 children. We've lived in a few states, as they were mentioned here, New Jersey, Wisconsin, Connecticut, and California now. We've been living in Dublin for 9 years. Professionally, I'm an executive. I'm a vice president for a company called Seagate Technology. I manage over 100 plus people and support about an $11 billion business. I've actually been a vice president in many companies and have experience running global teams. So, it gives you a little bit about my professional. Public service, I've been a Democrat since age 13. I'm a proud Democrat and, been very much involved in many boards. Planning Commission of Dublin, School Board in Connecticut, Environment Commission, Zoning Board, and Human Services Committees in New Jersey. In 2020 general election, I actually ran for Dublin City Council. Unfortunately, I did not win, but I feel I did pretty well for my first run. I had a lot of support, endorsements, including Tri-Valley Democratic Club and our Alameda County Democratic and a few of the unions, especially Greg Bonato, who's here actually supporting one of the unions. Let me go to the next slide. Perfect. So why vote for me? I'm just going to keep it into one simple slide here to say, I want more focus on back to basics. What does that mean? Let's focus on how do we build our Democratic Club? How do we make sure that we empower our members to get more involved? Let's make sure, we have so much tribal knowledge of people who are here. Let's learn from what they have been successful at. Let's look at some of those basic things. Let's bring awareness, of our club to many of our residents and Democrats in the Tri-Valley. Let's help our elected officials look at their agendas and let's bring, those agendas forward to our members. We want to, train and recruit candidates for our election. So let's get those done. Collaborate with other clubs and understand what works best for them. Improve communication, improve website, some of the stuff that we need to do, going back to the basics, right? And then attract new members. We have such a diverse community in Tri-Valley, and I want to make sure that we bring more diversity into this club also. So ultimately, what I really think about is let's empower our current members. Let's reimagine how we could take this club forward, and let's attract new members. Those are ultimately my 3 things I want to focus on. And with that, I just want to say thank you. I was trying to keep within the time limit. So I appreciate your time, and hopefully you get to learn about me more and I can answer any questions during the time. Let me stop sharing. Oh, Ellis, you're on mute if you're talking.
Trying to find me.
Oh, you went back on mute.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. I believe that Jackie was next. Did I blow that one too?
Okay.
Okay, Jackie's next.
Okay, and I'm not going to share anything. Those were really nice presentations, by the way. One thing I'm not very good at is talking about myself. I think I can do anything in life, but talking about myself is not one of my favorite things. A little bit about myself. I'm a native Livermore resident, born and raised here. A lifelong Democrat. I was registered at the age of 18 and I voted ever since. I raised my kids here in Livermore. My husband and I each have a daughter that we raised together. We all went to public schools. We're all just high school graduates. And out of high school, I went right to work for the local cable company, working at the front counter. And over the past 40 years, I worked my way up to Director of Information Systems. And then I retired from the cable company and went to work as a private contractor, self-employed, working on engineering projects throughout the country. Over my time, my professional career, I've worked here in the Bay Area. I was a full-time working mother. I traveled all over the country working for doing billing system conversions and technical work. I've had great mentors over the years, and I tried to be a mentor to the employees that I brought up and hired over the years. I became passionate about politics around 2010 when we got a call for action to try to get the Affordable Care Act passed. At the time, this area was District 11, and our rep was Jim McNerney. I don't know if you remember that man, but that was my first bout with politics, going out and rallying and trying to get the Affordable Care Act passed. Since that time, it's taken off. I've gone from supporting Bernie in both of his campaigns for president, joining this club about 4 years ago, and supporting various delegates and folks that have been running. I've been involved with Livermore Indivisible. I'm a member of the Progressive Caucus in CalDem. I was the acting political director for the past year, attending the Central Committee meetings and reporting back to our club. I've done tabling and voter registration for the club. I've worked with other groups, like Evan mentioned, Swing Left, Census 2020, Call to Win, TV Go, made calls for the NAACP for both Texas, Georgia, Nevada, and along with other club members, wrote postcards. I would love to serve as the club secretary. I've been acting secretary for a few months since Aparna stepped down. I do have a lot of technical skills that I can bring to the table to help whoever is running this club, either with website design or any kind of technical support, broadcasting on YouTube, any of the Twitter, any of the social media platforms. I have accounts in all of those, as well as been running the Tri-Valley for Our Revolution since Kyoko handed that over to me when the club endorsed Bernie. And I just want to say one last thing, just a little quote from Martin Luther King. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And I hope to be able to continue to work on things that matter with this wonderful group. I hope I can earn your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
And Kelly Mokashi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your consideration for your vote as the secretary. I just wanted to say that, opening up, why do I want to run? And it really comes down to a simple point. Pay it forward to the members of our community and to serve to others. I feel like it's the least I can do for this club. Going back about 7-8 months ago, I had some initial conversations with Ellis, and he was providing me some guidance to my campaign. As many of you may know, I'm a recently elected trustee in Pleasanton as Pleasanton Unified School District. And I just must say, speaking from my heart, that a year ago, I was not as involved in politics, and it's my duty, even though starting way back, I've been a Democrat all my life. Coming from Iowa, a very heavily Republican state, I knew from my heart I've been a Democrat all my life, but I've just begun to show my gratitude and service with the Democratic Club. And in my campaign process, I realized that it's not just, what we stand for, but it's being unified, working to really support our beliefs as Democrats. And we know, as history stands, we have a huge change of leadership this week. At the country level, and it's a huge victory for us as Democrats. But that said, I have a lot to give back to the Democratic Party, and I feel that this would be just one way to pay it forward. A little bit about myself: I am a former educator and education consultant and curriculum writer for the past almost 20 years. That's my professional life. I have 3 young children in the community, a new resident into California. I have embraced this community tenfold. And I don't want to move again. I've lived in multiple states, like Samir mentioned, New Jersey and Texas and Indianapolis, Indiana, but I feel at home here in this community, and I'm ready to pay it forward. I do have technical experience. I'm a good note taker. I take every challenge at hand and would be honored for your consideration for a vote. I would take the responsibility very seriously, and forever grateful for this group. I cannot say enough of thank you for the this community and providing a venue for us to really articulate our democratic views. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much, Kelly. What I'd like to do is, those of you who would like to make a comment, I'm going to ask you to, let's see, do we have a raise your hand? Yeah, raise your hand in the participants box. So you click on participants, and let me see, Jackie, that's not your hand raised, is it? Okay, Ron Lorenz has got his hand raised. Why don't you go, Ron, and if anybody else would like to speak, ask a candidate a question, make an endorsement, any kind of statement, try to keep it under a minute so that we finish this in a reasonable amount of time, please. Okay, we've got Asa Stout. Then we've got Brittany and Ron M. and Michelle Smith McDonald. Okay, Michelle and Sean Kumagai. Okay, Ron Lorenz, you're up first.
Okay. Well, we are fortunate to have 2 fine candidates for the office of president, and I would be happy as vice president to work closely with either one of these quality members of our club and community. I'd like to speak now, not as the vice president and not officially for the club, but as a person and as a psychologist. And I would like to ask a couple of questions. And I would also like to give some comments on what I feel in terms of the personality and the functional and the leadership capability of both of the presidential candidates. First, I have a question for Samir. Samir, you have worked for 9 years in the area. and have quite a lot of political connections in the area. I've personally talked with a number of elected officials, and those officials have, in essence, endorsed you for this office. But I would like to know if you could tell us the names of some of these people locally, the electeds that you've worked with, and feel that you get support from them.
Well, thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. And, some of those folks who supported my campaign in recent months are actually on this call. So Sean Kumagai, Jean Josie, both happen to be on this call. Others who are not, unfortunately, here today due to prior commitments: Sabina Zafar, as you guys know, Tim Sabranti, also Melissa Hernandez has supported me, Mike McCorston, Rebecca Balkan. So, I'm fortunate enough to get support from all these folks, along with Greg Bonato, who's also a union leader here. So for me, I look at, in addition to these, I have, board members from school. So Megan Rouse, Amy Miller. So there's, again, many, many people who supported me in my campaign, and I'm grateful and thankful to their support and friendship. And I could only learn from everything that these guys have done and, continue to learn. So that's how I look at it. I will bring a lot of value from these advisors. I look at them as my advisors to help me bring the value back into this club if I'm elected president.
Thank you. I'll just make a quick comment on that. As a teacher at 2 psychology graduate schools, I teach psychologists how to become psych doctors. And one of the things they need to do is to be able to look for information. They need to be able to research properly. And what I tell them is, you want to find your best experts, your best resources for giving you your information. So you're going to trust the Mayo Clinic better, isn't that right, psychologists, than you would be trusting Dr. Ulrich, who's going to be the doctor on a commercial for Lipozene. So I think for me, speaking not as a member of the executive club, but just as a psychologist, that's very impressive to me that Samir has the support of these people, these elected, our representatives, our Democratic leaders in the area. Thanks for your response. I have a question for Evan. Evan has a strong history of political connections and grassroots work in the Livermore and Dublin area. In fact, he's the front runner for a vacant seat on the Livermore City Council, and in a couple of weeks could be appointed to fill that chair. So I'm not so sure how that works with your time schedule to be able to work on TVDC, on Tri-Valley Matters. Can you say to me how, given the fact that you're a chef, a teacher, you may be a city council member, how you would still have time to work for TVDC as its president?
Hey, Evan, before you answer, can I address that?
Yeah.
I think it's important that we do not make any assumptions about who is a front runner on the city council. I am a city council member in Livermore. I think that we have 21 applicants and interviews coming. Warner was elected mayor and an open seat, opening his seat. That's answering a question from Jackie. But I do not think that this position, we should be looking at that city council race as a consideration for this at all. I just think it's an inappropriate assumption to make, especially as someone who is on the team making that decision.
Oh.
Wow.
Given what Brittany just said, Evan, you ought to answer the question.
Yeah, I have an answer just indirectly, because I think all of you, or most of you at least, have seen how I work before, and you've seen how I've worked with organizations, and people have asked me plenty of times if there's multiple of me out there. I show up at meetings, I show up at organizations. I've been running multiple grassroots organizations simultaneously. I think the highest I got up to was 3 that I was managing at the same time. while still working, while still, holding down a job. So when I decide to do something, I put my heart and soul into it, and running this club would be something that I would make sure that this is the best club in the state. I think we could easily rival Rossmore if we put our minds to it. And so I would work my heart and soul into this club if I was elected. So I have no doubt, zero doubts that I will have the time to be fully committed to this club.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you,
good.
Ron,
Thank
and
you.
thank you, Evan. Asa, you had a question or something?
Yeah,
You
no, I,
have-
yeah, I can, a quick comment and a question. I can say that as someone who has worked with Evan and a local nonprofit in Livermore, that he is definitely in multiple places at one time. He definitely does have the bandwidth to take on this kind of role. But the question I had was specifically that both candidates for president mentioned going back to basics and then stepping forward in terms of engagement. So I actually was kind of hoping for more, any sort of specific ideas that you guys may have had, again, keeping the answers kind of brief, that you had in terms of getting that engagement, giving, that kind of piece to it. Because I think that's a hurdle that a lot of this club has had, is getting that engagement. So we have people always wanting to come back and, for more month over month. That's it.
So that wasn't the question for anybody in particular?
No, I said a question of the two candidates running for club president.
Excuse me.
Yeah, bless you.
But
Do you
that
mind
wasn't
going first?
super
I did
spreader.
just a second.
Sure. So this is
Okay.
Samir. So I'm just gonna, to me, when I think about going back to basics, is like, let's do things the way how we started our club years and years ago, right? Let's just make sure we look at our current members. This club has tremendous amount of tribal knowledge. Let's look at what has worked best for attracting and empowering our members here. Number one. So looking at ways to empower people, bringing them, finding the right things that actually people are interested in doing, making sure that they're doing that. Second, make our meetings more attractive to members to come to and attend, and also bring new members along with them. So, maybe asking a person to say, hey, bring a new member with you. So just kind of like doing the basic things that doesn't require a lot of work, but also empowers the current members to do things that they're interested in doing and bring back value to the club meetings.
So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Sorry about.
Brittany.
Do I get a chance to?
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Sorry, it's okay.
Go ahead, Evan.
I was just kind of, I think for me, this comes down a lot to the way I've mobilized before. And I just wanted to mention just a brief story. One of the events we did when this was before the Measure P campaign had kicked off, before there was a referendum, we needed to mobilize people. We needed to get them to City Hall. We brought them out. I was able to get somewhere around 50 people to speak at City Council. I was able to get signatures for about, I think it was 3,000 signatures for, in support of our cause. And so I actually have put in the work and been on the street and gotten people interested in issues, interested in activities. And so I plan on bringing that same energy to this club to get people involved, to get people joining up, to get people doing the work, and to get them out there helping move forward causes that we care about.
Thank you. Brittany.
Hi. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk about something that I think is really important when I look at candidates of any kind, which is how do they respond when they are called in or called out. So calling in or calling out is saying, hey, I saw what you did here, and I think your impact was more negative than your intent. So you might have been meaning to be inclusive, but actually that statement, actually was harmful in whatever way. And so anybody that knows me knows that this is something I will do to anybody because I find it really valuable to have honest relationships with people. And one of the first times I had conversations with Evan about my running for council, I called him out and said, I think I can do this. I think I can do just fine, because it doesn't matter that I'm a nobody, right? And the response that I got was one that was thoughtful and respectful. And you know what? I'm behind you. I'm ready to give you the help that you need. And whenever I called with a question about how to do better in my campaign, he was always available or called me back immediately. I don't know Samir, so I can't say anything to his qualifications, but I do know as a candidate who was running out of nowhere, who nobody really knew who I was. They might have heard of some of the things that I did, but my name meant nothing to them. The support I got from Evan was really, really influential in my campaign. And what I really valued about that relationship is complete honesty and respect and transparency between each other, even when we disagreed. And I think that he would bring that respect to the group, even when he might feel very differently about an issue. I'm sure that Samir would have responded in a similar way, but I can't speak to that. All I can speak to is Evan and my experience with him, and I wanted to share that with everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't think that requires a reply.
Thank you.
Okay, Ron M.
I just had a quick question for Samir, given that he did just run in an election. Does he think that he might actually want to run for office again? And this is sort of the parallel to the question that was asked Evan, and I might have missed an answer there, but is he sure that he wants to go for this presidency and not consider running for office, or that he'd be able to do both, given the other work as the VP of Seagate, that kind of thing?
Thanks, Ron, for asking that question. Yeah, I ran right now in this election. I currently plan to focus my energy in this club. That's why I'm running, and along with my professional job. Okay, right now, I don't know what the future entails on a political side, but the focus is this club and my professional work. And if I needed to, if I had to go into, I've always worn multiple hats, so that is definitely not a problem. So.
Evan, I think
I think I answered it already on my end, but yeah, I would.
Oh, okay.
As I said, work fully for the club. I would not.
Okay,
I'm well aware of the time.
Over you.
I'm well aware of the time commitments of both, so I'll be okay. Thank you.
Michelle had a question. I didn't catch. We've only got one, Michelle. Am I correct?
You only got one.
Okay.
I have a question for both candidates for president. I'm interested in hearing some specificity about how you would diversify the ranks of the Tri-Valley Democratic Club. It seems that we need wider representation, and I'm curious about how you both would go about doing that.
Do you want me to go, Samir, or do you want to?
Sure,
You can
go ahead.
Oh, okay. So it's something that I've had plenty of experience with, and so it's something that I plan on just continuing what I've done before. And I found that the way to diversify the groups that I've worked with before has been to simply go where they are, meet them, where they're at. So typically, pre-COVID, I would go to events at different organizations with different groups. Just whenever there was something happening, I would just go and be there, see what was going on, introduce myself, and then ask if people wanted to do more. As a professional chef, as someone who's been teaching and lived for service, the question that's always my first question for everyone is, how can I help you? And so I find groups, I find where people are meeting, I ask them how I can help them and what they need and what they want. And then I follow through, do my best with that. And that typically brings them in and makes them interested in other topics that we're talking about. So it's worked with the coalitions that I formed. It's worked with the advocacy I've done. And it's something I plan to continue doing regardless, but would continue with this club as well.
Samir.
Yep. So thanks, Michelle. So first thing, you can see myself, I'm a diverse diversity, person here in this club, and I want to attract more diverse folks. We live in the Tri-Valley, which is our population. Look at our population. How much percentage is so much? We bring so much diversity among our towns. We're knowing the people I know in the communities, I could start to attract more people. I'll give you an example. We have a member here, actually, a recent member, Aziz Akbari. He is actually also a water district, Alameda County Water District board member, director. He is also here from a diverse community. And I think, slowly awareness of this club will get out to other diverse groups, and then we could bring more and more members. So I think that's the key thing. It starts off with, hey, who is this club? What do we do? What values we bring? And start to share that information with different ethnic and diverse groups to come and bring those people into this club.
Okay, Michelle, that's it?
Good.
Okay, Sean Kumagai.
Yeah, thank you, Alice. First I want to say, I just want to express an opinion here. I don't think it matters whether either of you run for office or whether either of you are appointed to office. You can still do this. I'm an elected official. I was just appointed as the AC Dems vice chair for 8016. I've been serving as a delegate for the California Democratic Party. I've been an active member in this and many clubs. It really doesn't matter, I think. I think you can do a good job here. You can still pursue a local elected office. And I don't think those two things should be in opposition to each other. As a matter of fact, I think, we have another candidate for executive office here who's also an elected official. I think that's just fine. I think that represents our diverse community, and for people who are engaged and have, subject matter expertise in a broad areas. So that being said, I told both Evan and Samir, I'm going to kind of stay neutral on this. I told them I would both. I know them both. I know the good work that they do, and I'm a bit torn, But I told them I would come here. I would ultimately make a choice. I would listen with an open mind to what each of them had to propose for what they wanted to do for this club. So I want to just say one good thing about each of them, in my observation. I think both of them would make very fine presidents for this club. Samir ran an outstanding local campaign. He worked his butt off. He raised a ton of money. And I think both of those things are, things that I've seen him do that I think he'll need to be able to do in order to run this club. He also built broad coalitions. He earned the support of a lot of the local elected officials and organizations, and I can commend him for that. Evan Branning has been an amazing grassroots organizer in Livermore, from matters that impact the city of Livermore to campaigns, both at the federal level, local level. He's been doing it for quite some time now. And I think he would bring that organizational skill to this club. And my hope is that both of them, whoever wins tonight, both of them will stick around, because I think they both bring some very excellent qualities that we need in this club. So please don't disengage. Whoever is not the winner, come on to whoever's the presidents, come on to their executive team, run a committee, and let's get to work, because we have a lot of work to do. And lastly, I want to just say that, I have been a member of the Central Committee during Jackie's tenure there. I think she's done an outstanding job there. I appreciate her participation and her reports back to this club. So I just want to say that as the 8016 vice chair, I'd like to endorse her for re-election, or for election to secretary.
Thank you very much,
Sean.
Sean.
Thank you. I couldn't have had a better endorsement. Oh my God, thank you.
Keneal.
Hi, thanks, Ellis. I wanted to ask both candidates for president, as a member of the youth in Dublin, what you'll be willing to do within the club to expand youth empowerment and involvement in politics. Again, that's to both candidates for president of the club.
The last 8:30.
I could go first, Evan. So Kunal, I was youth when I started my Democratic journey. I was a teenager. To me, I think it goes to we need folks like yourself and others who are youth to be involved and understand what the club is doing. Getting folks like yourself to become a part of the executive team, to bring that information back to the other youth members to say, hey, what is this club doing? What activities we can create? Of course, there's this club, there's, young Dems and everything, right? So we got to do things that would actually be important for the youth to learn and get value out of this. So I think just open-minded, bring awareness, create opportunities for youth to get involved and bring, so they can learn too. I think it's a journey that they need to go through. And I think there's a lot of members here who could actually help them continue to learn.
Okay, Evan, you were going to answer Camille's question.
Yeah, thank you. So as many of you know, I'm a teacher. I actually got my start at the San Jose Job Corps, which is a part of the many corps there were. The Job Corps basically is a training program for students who have gone off the tracks in some way or another. And since then, I taught at Dublin High for a little while, and now I teach at Village High School. And I found really my passion in life is reaching out to youth, particularly those who have had some sort of struggles, have found themselves losing their path and found themselves losing their direction. Reaching out to them, talking to them, working with them. And I have been incredibly successful in organizations that I've worked with because of my experience working with youth. I've made them feel welcome. I've made them feel comfortable. I've made them feel empowered. I've given them opportunities that others might not necessarily feel comfortable with, but with those opportunities, they've stepped up to the plate and they've proven themselves to be exceptional every single time. I will continue that, and I hope that I can bring that energy to the club. And I really do value the input of people of all ages. And so having that perspective from a diverse group of ages makes us stronger. And I will go and make sure that our club does expand into youth activities and issues that are interesting to the youth. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Mary Perner has raised her hand, and I'll make the final comment. Go for it, Mary.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say that I first met Evan in the spring of 2017. I was working as liaison for a little group that no longer exists, called Tri-Valley Stand, that came in response to the 2016 election. Evan was happy to meet with me, happy to come and speak to our group. From there, he and I worked together on the BART to Livermore project. There have been other projects that you've worked on in Livermore. You've always given it from your heart, worked really hard. Every time I need to have a question answered or a concern, or let's just say I'm a little ticked off by something, you're patient with me, you talk to me, and you help provide perspective. That has been a wonderful quality that I appreciate in you, and I endorse you fully for this position. You too, Jackie. I like being Facebook friends with you.
Thanks, Mary.
You work your whatever it is, the thing you're sitting on. You work hard.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary. My final comment, several people have asked me over the last few weeks who I'm going to vote for. And I told both Samir and Evan that I am not going to say who I'm going to vote for. And this is an open election. I am not going to vote unless it comes down to a tie. And as the current chair, I reserve the right to be the tie-breaking vote since I won't vote. Okay, I think we are ready to vote. And what I'm going to ask is, Ron, have you got your hand up?
Can I just make one final recommendation on the secretary position?
Go.
Yeah, I highly recommend Jackie and think that she's done a wonderful job so far, including both the important functions of one, working up our minutes for us and sending them forwards and backwards with corrections, and two, doing the hard work of the Zoom master for us. And it's wonderful. It makes these meetings happen. And without her skills, we may not have even had tonight's meeting. I
Thank you
also
very
want to just quickly say that, based on my being a psychologist, I strongly endorse Samir for the presidency.
Ellis, there are a couple of other
you.
hands up.
Oh, we better get on with the voting.
There are a couple of other what?
Hands up.
Oh, they already spoke.
Do we need folks to put the hands down so we can have? a
Yeah,
vote?
yeah.
I call the
can't-
question.
Okay. In fact, I'm going to shut that window altogether. Okay.
I don't see how to do
I am going to read off of this. If you're present, please say either Evan or Samir, either Jackie or Kelly. And I'm going to ask Ron and Alan Nakashir to be the official talliers, but I sent everybody a PDF with what you see on the screen. Unfortunately, I don't have the means to mark what's on the screen. So keep track, and Sharon's here with me doing the same.
And Sharon's
Okay.
not gonna vote.
And Sharon's also not going to vote. Okay, let's start off with Aziz.
Samir and Jackie, please.
Okay, Samir and Jackie.
Now, what Z
Richard
is
Adler.
this? Oh,
Richard
okay.
Adler.
Yes, I'm voting for Evan and Jackie.
Okay.
The Arkin.
Brian Arkin. I spelled your name wrong, Brian.
No problem, no problem. I vote for Evan and Kelly.
Chris Arkin.
No, it's Nick, not Chris.
Okay,
Yeah.
Chris is not here. Nick?
Nick is, but he's, can you just wait on his vote? He's getting out of the shower.
Okay, I'll wait on that. Valerie.
Okay, that's me. And I just want to say, all the candidates are great, no matter who wins. It's really a hard decision. But I am going to go with Evan and Kelly.
Okay, Janice Anarich. Absent. Newell Anarich. Absent. Eileen Barr. Absent. Robin Basham. Absent. Joanne Becker. Did I hear anything for Joanne Becker?
No.
No. Absent. Dawn Benson. Absent. Greg Benson. Absent. Thad Binkley. Thad?
He was there originally.
You're on mute.
Okay, Evan and Jackie.
Okay.
Okay, Evan and
Jackie.
Jackie.
Okay.
Okay.
Ellis, this is Valerie Arkin again. Nick is here.
Okay, Nick, who are you voting for? Evan or Samir?
I'm voting for Evan.
And Jackie or Kelly?
Kelly, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Go draw yourself. Okay, Gabby Blackman. Absent. Andy Blindy. Blitty. Absent. Cindy Bosian. Absent. Stephen Bosian. Absent. Greg Donato. I saw you, Greg. You're hiding?
No, I'm not hiding. Okay.
Greg Donato?
Your votes?
Abstain.
Okay,
Okay,
that's good.
okay. Kevin Booth,
We are unmuted, right? Yes.
do I hear anything from Kevin?
He's there.
I don't hear Kevin. I saw him.
There.
And Jackie.
Kevin,
You said,
say that again.
Samir and Jackie.
Evan and Jackie?
No,
Samir.
Samir and,
Samir and Jackie.
okay. Evan,
Okay, Evan Branning.
I'll vote for myself, and then since I might be the next president,
Samir
I feel it's
and Jackie.
oh, an echo from Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Booth
Oh.
got you for Samir and Jackie.
okay,
Okay,
So,
okay, Evan,
Evan, who are you voting for secretary?
because I might be the next president and would have to work with either of the winners.
okay.
So you're
I
not
think they're great candidates. I
Okay,
abstain.
that's fine.
Okay, Sally Brown. Absent. Joan Buchanan.
Absent.
Renee Buxer. Absent. Frank Burton.
I didn't see Frank. Absent.
Barbara Butler. Absent. Andy Chang.
I'm gonna go for Samir and Jackie.
Okay. Terry Kane.
Terry Chang.
Also the same.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff Colvin. Absent. Mary Frances Colvin. Absent. Rebecca Davies. Absent. Ronnie Supinski. Absent. Stephen Dunbar.
With deep respect for all four, especially the secretaries, being a secretary myself, Evan and Jackie.
Okay.
Okay. Next column, Mark Fickus.
I didn't see him here.
He was here, unfortunately had to drop off, I know.
Okay. Absent. Ryan Forsyth.
Evan and Jackie.
Evan and Jackie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Hines.
I didn't see him.
Absent. Maya.
Absent.
Ellis, pass. Sharon, pass. Luz Gomez.
Hi, all. I will abstain for president and Jackie.
Okay,
John Hall.
didn't see. Her.
Absent. Eloise.
Didn't see her either.
Absent. Melissa Hernandez. Absent.
Brody.
Brody.
All the candidates are excellent. I'll vote for Evan and Jackie.
Okay.
Phyllis.
Evan and Jackie.
Bob Johnson. Absent. Ed Johnson. Absent. Joan Johnson. Absent. Jean Josie.
You mute us? No. Yeah, no.
All the candidates are excellent. I will vote for Samir and Jackie.
Christine Kanza.
Evan and Jackie.
Kunal.
Evan and Jackie.
Brittany.
Evan and Jackie.
Linda Knapp. I thought I saw Linda, didn't I? Not here. Jan Kusinski.
Linda is here. She's just muted.
Okay. Linda, did you unmute?
We can catch you later.
Jan Kuzinski, absent. Sean Kumagai,
Now I have to make a decision, huh?
Okay, I was having problems unmuting. I'm voting for Evan and Jackie.
was that Linda?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, got her. Sean Kumagai, your reprieve is up.
I am gonna vote for Samir and Jackie.
John Larson,
Alice, John is here. This is Luz.
Evan and Jackie.
Evan and Jackie. That's John Larson, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah,
Evan and Jackie, but great job to everyone.
Joan Larson,
I just voted.
He just
I
voted.
just voted.
Joan.
No, she said Joan.
Joan Larson.
I don't think she's here.
Did I miss something? Is she here?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Roberta Lewis. Absent. Dr. Ron Lorenz,
Samir and Jackie.
Karen Lowers. Absent. Helen Machuga.
They're all excellent, Evan and Jackie.
And how do you pronounce that last name?
Mine, Machuga.
Machuga.
Okay.
I got it okay. Aparna. Absent. Steve Mahar. Absent. Tina Mahar. Absent. John Melchar. Absent. Carl Melchar. Absent. Aziza Mera. Absent. Leo Mera. Absent. Amelia Madiar. Absent. Michelle McDonald.
Samir and Jackie. Thank you, everybody, for putting your names forward.
Yeah, just a second. You said Samir and Jackie.
Right.
Thank you.
Chris McGinnis. Absent. Whiteski. Did I say that one right? Medema?
Bitsky? I don't think she's here.
Witzki? Is she here?
She's not here.
Oh, okay. Amy Miller.
I hate it when all the candidates are good. It's not a clean cut, just easy to
I
decide.
mean, the other side of it is if they were all lousy.
No, I know, but I just think all the candidates are great, and I think the club will be in great hands. So my vote is for Samir and Kelly.
Okay.
Ron Minichin.
Minnick. Excellent candidates, Evan and Jackie.
Kelly.
Evan and myself.
I have a
Alan
question.
Nakachir.
Or
I have a question.
or do I abstain from me? I don't know, whatever the rule is.
Who has a question?
Ron has a question on tallying. I didn't get the full vote for Amy Miller.
Amy Miller said Samir and Kelly.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Alan Nakashir.
They're all wonderful, and I'm going to cop out and abstain.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to do a pass. Sherry,
Probably the same.
absent. Bob Naylor.
I'd like to first thank Alan for running for treasurer. And then
Yeah.
we'll do Evan and Jackie. And everybody's great.
Okay.
Patricia Nealt.
It's a no, pronounced a no. But I think all were excellent candidates, but I will vote for Evan and Jackie.
Okay. Evelyn, I like that.
Jeff Nibbert.
Thank you to all the candidates for running. I'll vote for Evan and Jackie.
Moni. Absent. Bill Oliver. Absent. Ann Paulson. Absent. Mary Perner.
Mary?
Mary, unmute.
Evan and Jackie.
Good.
Thank you all, though, for running.
Gary Potter. Absent. Koresh daughter number 1. Koreshi daughter, excuse me.
Samir and Jackie.
And what is your name?
Sana,
S-O-N-A?
Sana.
S-A-N-A. And is your sister there?
Yeah, hi. Same vote for me, please.
Okay.
Okay. And what is your name?
Serena.
Serena. Okay.
And carry the S.
And then
Samir.
Samir, who are you going to vote for?
I will vote for myself and I will abstain from secretary.
Okay. And your wife, what's your wife's name? And is your
My-
wife there?
I'm here. My name is Sobia. S as in Sam, O, B as in boy, I-A. And I'll vote for Samir and Jackie.
Okay. It's S-I-L-V-I-A?
No.
S as in Sam, O as in orange, B as in boy, I-A.
S-O-B-I-A.
Sobia. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to plead hearing aids on that one. Okay, so we have, and who are you voting for, Sobia?
I'm voting for Samir and Jackie.
Okay. Scott Rafferty,
I didn't see him.
absent. Van Rainey,
Evan and Jackie.
oh, I put in the wrong box. Okay, George Reed, absent. Katie, absent. Tom Rindy, absent. John Rowe, you still there?
I don't know why it took you forever to get to the R's.
That'll teach you to start your last name with it.
In my next life, I'm going to have a last name of Adams. But I enthusiastically vote for Samir and Jackie.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Megan Rouse,
Thank you. I'm voting for Samir and Jackie.
Joan Sapella, absent. Lynn Sapella, absent. Tim Sabrante, absent. Marisol, absent.
I'm abstain for president and Jackie for secretary.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's a Jackie. Alexandria,
I vote for Samia and Jackie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bonnie Setzer. Not here. Joe Setzer. Not here. Leslie Shafton. Not here. Any of the Shaftons. No Shaftons. Okay. Nate Simon. Not here. Caristelle Smith. Not here. Diane Stein. Not here. Richard Stein. Not here. Asa Stout.
Hey, it's here. I'm here. Sorry. So I'm voting for Evan and Jackie. My wife also joined. I didn't get a chance to mention that at the beginning.
Oh, okay. What is her name?
Katie, she's getting ready for bed, so I have to go get her. So you might want to.
Okay.
Katie Stout.
And-
Okay, I'll put her down at the end. Once you get her in here, we'll get that from her. Dawn Taryn Rankle.
I'm gonna abstain on president and I'll vote for myself.
Okay.
Okay, Jackie, but what about your husband?
He's right here, Don.
Evan and Jackie.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna go with Evan and Jackie? Okay. Julie Testa.
I want to thank all candidates for stepping up, and I'd like to vote for Evan and Kelly.
Jody Tomic. Absent. Irene Tosaki. Absent. Catherine Utsumi.
I vote for Samir and Jackie.
Michael Utsumi.
With sincere gratitude to all 6 candidates that elected to run, I cast for Samir and Jackie.
Mark Van Landwoot.
With great respect to all the candidates, I vote for Evan and for Jackie.
Sridhar Varus. Absent. Christy Wang.
4 great candidates. I vote for Evan and Jackie.
Bill Woodruff. Absent.
Okay.
Lisa Woodruff.
Probably absent.
Absent. Mahir.
With all due respect to the candidates, I'm voting for Samir and Jackie.
Jamie E.
Jamie E.
Happy New Year, everyone. I vote for Evan and Kelly.
Okay.
Okay, are any of the Young family here? Okay, I'll give them a 4-bagger absence. And Sabina. Okay, she's not here.
And
Katie Stout. Asa, did you get her?
Okay.
Okay, while we're waiting for Katie Stout, how about adding up your columns and let's see what everybody gets.
Hey, sorry, Katie's already asleep.
Okay.
Okay, Asa, is she there?
She's asleep, she just said.
Oh, she's asleep? You snooze, you lose.
Add
I thought he would do, and even
Somebody
though
have the radio on?
His friend at Ohio State.
Yeah, don't play the radio on Zoom.
The Ohio State.
Add up your columns. I'm just checking. Okay.
Okay, Ron has the totals for him.
Okay, I've got totals also, but let's hear what Ron has to say.
For Samir, we have 19 votes. For Evan, we have 30 votes. For Jackie, we have 43 votes. And for Kelly, we have 7 votes.
Okay, Alan, does yours match?
I came up with 20 for Samir and 30 for Evan and 44 for Jackie and 7 for Kelly.
Mine agrees with Ron's, the 30,
Okay.
19, 43, and 6. What did you get, Sharon?
I didn't finish adding them up, but I'll take yours.
She'll take mine. I think it's pretty clear. Evan has been elected president and Jackie's been elected secretary.
Congratulations, Evan and Jackie.
Discrepancies between Alan and Ron. Congratulations, Evan. I wish we had an oath to take, but we don't. So
I promise to do my best. How's that?
Promise to do your best and take care of my baby. So
you're not going anywhere.
And you'll be taking over this meeting, which unfortunately is run till 9 o'clock. And I've promised Peter Shapiro a couple of minutes. So could we give Peter Shapiro a couple of minutes to say what he came here to say? And I'm going to make a proposal after that. Is that all right, Evan?
Yeah, I'm going to just really quickly put a link up. I had some things planned, but I'm going to put a link up in the chat. If anyone would like to, I'll send this out also later as an email. It's just a quick volunteer check-in to see Google Doc. Fill it out if you would like. So thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate your support. If you can fill out the Google Doc. I've had a longer acceptance speech planned, but it's 9 o'clock, so I want to turn it over to Peter Shapiro.
Can I have 1 minute?
Go. Evan's
Okay.
running this meeting. He's the chair.
Evan, can
Go
I
ahead,
have
Ron.
1 minute for Ellis?
Yes.
Okay, this is in the transition. I've made up a nice little certificate of appreciation that I'd like to show here for Ellis and all of his work. Let me read it, and I'll be sending this to Ellis. Certificate of Appreciation. The Tri-Valley Democratic Club expresses heartfelt appreciation to Ellis Goldberg for his outstanding work, creativity, and leadership as our president.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron. It's been my pleasure. And it's been the great honor of my life.
Well, tell him what you're going to do now
What am I going to do now?
in the club.
Oh, in the club. I was just going to get some ice cream, but
Oh, mint chocolate chip?
I mean, I plan on being involved in the club and helping Evan and everybody else who wants to get involved
And being the webmaster.
and being the webmaster.
And I'll,
Until we come up with the new website. Both candidates promised a new website. So let's see how that works out.
All right. So
And I will
thank you again for all of your service,
Yeah.
Ellis.
Can we give Peter Shapiro a couple of minutes though?
I'll talk a little bit at the end, but I want to turn to Peter at this point. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Peter Shapiro. I'm with the California Alliance for Retired Americans. I'm their delegate to the Alameda Labor Council, which several months ago passed a resolution. Greg Bonato can back me up on this, urging our congressional representatives to support the Healthcare Emergency Guarantee Act, which is going to be reintroduced in the new Congress. I understand that Nancy Pelosi has promised to expedite it. It's badly needed. Basically, what the bill would do is it would take everybody who is currently without insurance or who has been without insurance since the pandemic started and have Medicare pay any medical bills that they have gotten until such time as the pandemic is behind us and everybody's been vaccinated. It would also, Medicare would pay the same prices for prescription drugs that the Veterans Health Administration does. As some of you may know, the Medicare currently is only allowed to pay the full market price for prescription drugs. That raises the cost considerably. For people who do have insurance, Medicare would bar any increases in premiums for the duration of the pandemic, and if there are any co-payments or deductibles, it would pick up those as well. This is a badly needed law, I think, and it looks like the pandemic is going to be with us for a while longer, given the difficulties in rolling out the vaccination. It's going to be, I would guess, at least 6 or 7 months before we really get to the point where we're safe again. And sometimes I worry it'll be longer than that. In the meantime, people are dying at the rate of, 4,000 a day, I believe. A lot of people are getting sick who shouldn't be getting sick because they cannot access healthcare when they need. They have pre-existing conditions which leave them more vulnerable to infection. And of course, every time they're infected, there's a good chance they're going to affect several other people. I want to say that really COVID-19 has heightened a lot of the contradictions that of our existing healthcare system. It's pretty much exposed the problem of tying health insurance, tying access to healthcare to your employment, because a lot of people's employment has just been knocked into a cocked hat by the pandemic. It's also, I think, really brought out the racial disparities in terms of who gets healthcare and who doesn't. In California, I think more than half the people infected with COVID-19 are Latino or Latina, and almost half of the mortality of the deaths are Latino or Latina. In East Oakland, near where I live, the mortality rate for Latinos is 3 times as high as for everybody else. Nationally, I believe Black people are dying at 4 times the rate as white people. There are a lot of reasons for this. I'd love to talk about them some more, and maybe we can talk about this at some other time. But the point is, we badly need this bill. Having Medicare pick up the tab for people's treatment is the most efficient and effective and cost-effective way to cover everybody. It also casts the broadest net of all of the possible proposals to deal with the health crisis. We're suffering because we don't have a very good public health infrastructure in this country. That needs to change too. That's another struggle. I think we could use, the Labor Council passed this resolution. We decided that we wanted our congressional representatives to know about it. We spoke with Barbara Lee several weeks ago. She has signed on to this bill. We haven't spoken to Eric Swalwell yet. I understand you folks have a good relationship with him, so we could definitely use your help with that. And any questions, any comments, I hope you guys will take this up and pursue it. It's important. And thanks for the Hamish.
Thank you, Peter. If I can, Evan, I'd like to propose something, that we convene a forum of local people, club members and other local people, and we have a Zoom meeting where each of those people brings suggestions concerning COVID, as Peter did. But I think you realize that what Peter is suggesting, which is HR 6906, I believe, is just one brick in a very much larger wall. And what I'd like to do is record that Zoom meeting where people from the community can come with their suggestions as to how to make the COVID response better, record it, put it on our YouTube channel, and then tell Eric, Mark DeSaulnier, Ro Kahana, and many of the other local Democrats in Congress about this. And I think I can come up with Alex Padilla's email address. So it gives, in this case, Peter's group, a forum to get to our congressional leaders. As you know, Eric has got a hell of a lot on his plate with impeachment. And I would suggest that Mark DeSaulnier probably has a lot on his plate also. But here, if we could put it out on YouTube as to what we're suggesting, that could be a powerful thing that they could look at in the time that they have to look at it, rather than us making an appointment with them and going through a whole Zoom meeting.
Oh, that sounds excellent, Ellis. Would you be open to working with me, and then we can expand from there?
Yeah, so
We're getting it
I'll work
organized.
with you and Jackie, and we'll make up a time for a Zoom meeting, and we'll get the community people together. There are a number of doctors and medical professionals who do belong to the club, and I'm sure that they have some suggestions.
Yeah.
Definitely, that sounds like a great.
Yeah, you could also probably get Rebecca on board if you want.
Yeah, but that's later on.
Okay.
This is the community telling our electeds some good ideas that don't seem to be happening.
No, I'd love to work with you on that, and so we'll take the details offline. Peter, I also want to thank you very much for coming out and speaking with us. If you have any information you want me to send off to the broader membership of the club, or even to help with anyone who's going to be advocating on behalf, I'll put my email in the chat right now, and so please send it to me and I'll send it on to everyone else.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry that it was such a short time that went a little long. And then just kind of in closing, unless there's any other business, I really want to thank everyone, for your support. I thank you all for having confidence in me. But most importantly, I really do want to thank those who came before, and Ellis, Sharon, and Bob. The three of you set up a club that is, top notch. And I wouldn't be able to do this from scratch. I wouldn't be able to, start from the beginning and being able to step into such a successful club and somewhere with such great love and support, and to know that also I have your support going forward and I have the support of the members going forward, gives me the confidence to be able to actually do this position. And so I really do thank everyone on this call. I thank, Ellis, Sharon, Bob, I cannot thank you guys enough for what you've done for the Tri-Valley, for national politics. You've really made a humongous difference. So thank you so much. I appreciate you deeply, deeply. With that, unless there's any other actions, it is 9:10. So I'll stay on for a little while if anyone has anything they want to ask me, but otherwise, thank you all.
Make a motion, the meeting be adjourned.
So moved.
Let's stay on.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Do we need to actually vote on that? Good night.
Start disappearing. It's okay.
Okay. Nice close to the meeting, Evan.
Thank
Put
you.
a nice tail on it.
Thank you.
Good
Bye,
positive
everybody.
stuff.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Just remember, Evan, that at the first in-person meeting, they're going to ask you to cater it.
Yeah. Ask.
Hey,
Demand.
now the pressure's on.
Good
goodies.
Or even our picnic, whenever that's going to be.
Our face for everyone.
Oh yeah, the picnic might be the next in-person meeting. Who knows?
It could be, yeah.
That would be nice.
It would be a nice way to kick it back.
The next our next in-person meeting.
Yeah.
I hope
Whatever.
so.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Thank you.
for everything.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you all.
Night.
Good night.
Congrats, Jackie.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you.